Well, here we are again.
Here we are again,
It's
Adam.
another episode.
Another episode.
I think that we're going to bring back dictionary.
I think
I
you're
think we're
going to
going to bring back
dictionary.
Megadad's dictionary.
That's what you know what, Adam? I just had an idea. Why don't we bring back Megadad's dictionary?
That's a great idea.
Thank you.
Megadads Live is a mature-rated podcast. It's for the Megadads, the Mega Moms, but not the Mega Kids. So put on those earmuffs and let's go!
If people don't know what that means, it means that we scour the internet trying to stay relevant because we need to know all the dank memes, right? Dank memes.
I'm surprised you said that right now.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you said that.
And I found a great term that I think goes with the feeling that a lot of people are feeling right now. So here's the thing. If you use this term throughout the course of the episode, you're gonna hear this sound right here. And that means you get a point.
Yes.
That means you get a dictionary point. And Antonio, what happens if you get like 50 points? 50 points, what do you get?
If you get 50 points in the episode, then the other host is going to fly to the other's house.
Yes.
Okay?
Uh-huh.
Use their toilet and destroy it.
Oh.
So that's your prize. That's your prize.
Destroy it.
Yeah, completely drop the doocies in there and destroy your toilet.
I farted yesterday.
No, never trust a fart, Adam.
Well, hold on. So I was sitting next to my son, and he was reading to me. And as he was reading to me, like my tummy started to hurt, right?
Oh no.
And so I farted because that's what you do.
Okay.
I mean, he was like literally right next to me, but it was quiet. So I was like,
Savage.
maybe he'll finish the book in time and he'll escape. It didn't happen. The smell came immediately, right? And it lasted probably a good 10, 15 minutes.
No, Adam. Oh.
To the point where I was legitimately wondering, like I knew I didn't shit my pants because like you would know. You would know if you shit
thought
your
you didn't. Okay.
But then the smell was so constant that suddenly I was like, maybe he farted because my fart should have gone away by now.
Right.
So then I started blaming him. I'm like, no, you farted. And he's like, no. And he starts getting mad at me. He's like,
Super
you
denial.
farted.
Wow.
So I started getting into like this inception head thing. Like maybe I farted and then he farted because he thought that if he farted under my fart, I'd be a scapegoat.
Yeah,
right?
I hear you. Yeah.
But he would not admit to farting, which puts the ball back in my court. And how the hell do you fart so bad that it lasts 15 minutes?
The gaslighting you did on your son is incredible because like you start the story with like, I definitely did it.
I absolutely did it.
But I was so disgusted by myself that I had to create a version in my head where I'm going to gaslight my son into saying
I'm thinking scientifically. I'm thinking logistically that I owned the fact that I ripped one out.
Mm-hmm.
There's no denying that what came out of my asshole was pungent and like we're probably going to have to repaint the living room.
Stripping the paint.
But the fact that it lasted so long, I was trying to logic it out. Like, there's no way that that's all me.
Yeah.
How long? What's your record for fart?
So
linger?
I think we all have established that as human beings, it's like everybody has the gaseous functions. Like it's proven, it just happens.
It's normal.
But I don't understand. I don't think I will ever understand. There's no like A to B where you're like, oh, I'm going to smell like something died in here. Like it happens. It happens every once in a while. And then sometimes you think to yourself like, oh, did I eat something bad? Like, was it a combination of like dairy all the time for some people or something? And some people can trace that back. But to me, this remains a medical mystery of the why. I have had times where, you know, it's just incredibly bad. Like I find that my dogs, like pets, like animals have like a special ability where it's like a defense mechanism or something. They have it in them where they can really reach deep and like scrape their bowels to really like destroy a house. And we've had that where it's like every door and window must be open right now. It's wild. It's wild.
But it's not just, and I don't mean to linger on this issue, but that's where I'm hung up. Like I absolutely express like the volume and the level of stink, but it's the fact that it stayed.
Yeah,
it stayed there.
The science behind this is I haven't studied, but there's like a heaviness, you know, a lingering where there's no like crosswind, the pH of the air, the humidity, the dew. Yeah. It all like comes together into a perfect storm of perfect storm.
Today's dictionary term is depresso espresso.
Mega Dad's being super positive.
And we're going to transition into our super positives. Antonio. What's Are you positive about anything right now?
The best thing I can do is look at my daughter, and you know, we shield her from the world a lot because she's a kid, and the things that she gets excited about, the things that bring smiles to her face kind of remind me what life is all about. And I've told myself, you know, a lot is going wrong, etc., but I'm going to watch my daughter grow up. I'm going to see her and try to enjoy her. And it's very difficult. It is. But the focus there, she is my super positive. If she ever listens to this down the line, just know that you're my joy and you're amazing. The other day she sat me down and she was looking at a body parts like educational slide that she had on one of her toys. So she's looking at the paper, and then she went over to another paper and started writing the words. And it was like leg, arm, mittens, and she's writing it out. I'm like, honey, what are you doing? She's like, I'm writing out the body parts on this paper. So if somebody asks, hey, what are the body parts? I can give them this paper and then they'll know. So she was making like educational materials for someone. So she took the educational material that was there and was making a copy. And then she sat me down and I'm like, you know, your S's are like a little weird. I'm like, let's work on your S's. So I made like a little worksheet with dashes and I'm like, trace this letter. And then she's all like, okay. And then she's like, she comes up to me. She's like, now I want you to do this. And she traced the little letter M at 4 years old. She's like, now trace it. I'm like, okay. She's like, now you do this every day. You got to do this every day. You got to work on your M's. And I'm like, okay. And then she like starts taping stuff to the wall, and I'm in class now. And now she takes a pointer, like a little stick she had, and she's pointing to the thing, probably like her teacher does in school. She's like, what color is this? I'm like, blue. She's like, correct. And like, I'm like, correct. And and then my wife is seeing this all go down. She's like, Lily, do you want to be a teacher? She's like, no, I just want to play. So like, these are just the cute things that bring joy to my life. Like, she's just very advanced and very smart. So Lily is my super positive.
So what you're saying is you've got this incredibly deep bond with your daughter. It's very adorable and educational. And I just got done telling a story about how I farted on my son
and gaslit him into
and then blamed it on him.
And now he's gonna think forever. He's all like, do I have a problem? Do I smell and I don't know about it?
Here's the deal. I'm a guy who likes dark humor, right?
Okay.
I'm a guy who likes taking horrible situations and finding joy in them. And as most people know, I'm not exactly excited about the way that this country is going right now. However, I will say that learning more about Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Oh my God.
has been a bewildering experience that, while he's absolutely going to be the result of like thousands of deaths probably over the next 4 years. Listen, have you heard about the whale story?
No, I heard he killed like a bear and then he left it out in the Central Park.
I'll tell both stories, right? Because you got to laugh. If you don't laugh, you're going to cry. All right, we'll get to the bear first, all right? Here's the story about the bear. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Dumped a dead bear in Central Park. He staged a dead bear in Central Park to defer responsibility for it because, of course, it's illegal to dump a dead bear carcass in Central Park. RFK Jr., by the way, is the guy who's up to be Secretary of Health and Human Services. Here's the story from Kennedy's own mouth. So I pulled over and I picked up this dead bear and I put him in the back of my van because I was going to skin the bear, he explains. It was in very good condition and I was going to put the meat in my refrigerator. Kennedy says he got waylaid by a busy day of falconry. He got too busy with his falconry and he had to rush back to New York City for a dinner at a steakhouse. He was running late. And so he says, I had to go to the airport and the bear was in my car. And I didn't want to leave the bear in my car because that would have been bad. And then as he puts it, he said, I wasn't drinking, but I was with some other people who were drinking and they thought it was a good idea. So we went and we dropped this dead bear in Central Park.
There's so many holes in this story. Like, first of all, he didn't randomly run into a bear. He killed a bear. Then he drives from wherever he was in New York to the city with the bear. And then keeps it in his car for a while. He's running errands, whatever. Like, and then he dumps. How do you get away with, I'm assuming it's in the trunk. How do you get away with pulling a whole bear out? And does he do this himself or with the others, quote unquote, that are drinking in the car? You know, like they're...
Yeah, I think he had help. Kennedy also says he just happened to have an old bike in his car, which somebody had asked him to get rid of. So he recalled that he went to the city and he went on the bike path and he staged it to look like this bear had been killed by a bicyclist. So he put the old bike on top of the dead bear to make it look like somebody ran into it. Who fucking looks at a dead animal on the side of the road and says, I could use that meat? That's not so bad. Who does that? I'll tell you who. The same guy that chopped the head off of a dead whale and strapped it to the top of his vehicle. I'm going to read this story right now.
This can't be true, Adam.
This comes from Kennedy's own daughter, who did an interview with Town and Country magazine and told this incident, which happened in 2012. RFK Jr. found out that a dead whale had washed ashore, so he got his chainsaw, cut off the whale's head, and strapped it to the roof of their minivan for a 5-hour drive home.
Is there a why? He took
Kathleen
it?
Kennedy says every time we accelerated on the highway, whale juice would pour into the windows of the car, and it was the rankest thing on the planet. We all had plastic bags over our heads with mouth holes cut out, and people on the highway were giving us the finger. But that was just normal day-to-day stuff for us.
That it's definitely mental illness, right? Like
yes.
Yeah.
So it's a sad super positive, and it might make you depresso espresso.
Good. There we go.
But I gotta laugh at the thought of this minivan driving down the road with a whale head on the top, and it's leaking into inside of the vehicle. Whale juices just flooding. You cannot make this shit up. So good.
No, you can't. Like, if you were just like randomly thinking of like a story like this is stranger than fiction, I am appalled. And I want to know the why. If there was a depresso espresso in the dictionary, there's just this story is just there.
Like for me, if I saw a bear, right? Or if I saw a whale, and let's just say I wanted to keep it. Let's just say for some reason I had a reason I wanted to keep the whale head or the dead bear. I don't have time. I got to get to karate. I got to get my daughter to gymnastics. I got to pick up groceries. These are not real people problems. Let's get to the headlines. I want to talk a little bit about Fortnite.
Oh.
I've been big into Fortnite ever since they dropped the Marvel season, which was actually last season. Right now they've got Snoop Dogg and Eminem, and it's like a whole hip hop season. And my son and I have been playing the absolute crap out of it. But what I want to talk about specifically is all these games within Fortnite. Yeah. All these they put in like the music game, they put in the racing game, but there's also like other like organizations that just build games within the creator mode in Fortnite, and they release it out, and they get promotion from like the official Fortnite accounts. So like right now there's this whole Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles roguelike that has been built inside of Fortnite.
Really?
I watched the trailer for this. I'll send you the link later. I watched the trailer for this, which was released by the official Fortnite YouTube account, and it looks an awful lot like the old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle arcades. You're fighting foot soldiers, you're fighting Mousers, Shredders in there, and it's like the old rooftops from Turtles in Time and stuff. So like it looks like an actual video game. It looks like a real arcade experience. And Fortnite official is promoting it. So somebody pretty official had created this thing, and they're promoting it on the Fortnite YouTube channel. I have not had a chance to try it, but I just find it super fascinating that people are building games within this game. Right before the election, the Democratic organization had a whole Kamala Harris, Tim Walz city with you'd be running around, and there's like a Tim's Tacos stand and all sorts of Harris banners and things like that. So people are using Fortnite for really official sub games. My son very often will play a lot of these secondary experiences that users create rather than going into the battle royale. And I find it so interesting. I know that's like a thing that's been around forever in like Roblox, but Fortnite has a much more polished, I think, way of doing it. What do you think about that?
I remember the day that I saw for the first time the custom games mode or the custom games menu, because it's laid out like a YouTube channel where it's all these squares with thumbnails, and it's just like the garbage that you see getting millions of views on YouTube. It's like this trash thumbnail with this trash title with like just the most odd, like kind of juvenile, like sheen to everything. And I remember seeing this. I'm like, what is this? I'm like, all these are like rooms and games and custom things that people have made, and there are people in here like playing, like, you know, like just get straight to the action, like red versus blue. There's obstacle courses, there's racing, there's all sorts of stuff. And this is the way that Fortnite has been able to keep itself as a platform fresh, because now it's just like everything built up within it and around it, and it's just amazing. I'm blown away by the custom games, and then now the more official take on stuff. I mean, when they did the rocket racing one and the band one and the Lego Land,
the Lego one,
I was like, wow, this is super interesting. They are really kind of going for it. And now we have this, and I'm looking at the trailer, and it looks great.
Yeah,
it looks really polished. So it's crazy what they're able to do. This is the future. The only thing that can stop them is any limit on the creativity, which there is no end to like what they're going to be able to do. It's just going to be new ideas, stretch it a bit further, you know, use the tools, and it's amazing. Like the collaborations that they have going on all the time is just amazing. So I'm blown away by it. It continues to be a good time. Isn't it crazy? Like now, like if it feels kind of like old and washed up, where it's like I play Battle Royale. It's like there's so much other stuff to do. All the kids are playing like other cool, like random stuff.
Right. Yeah, I posted a video on our YouTube channel of my son and I playing, and somebody commented, they're like, build mode, ew. And I'm like, that's what fucking Fortnite is. Like, yeah, now I'm a boomer. Exactly. Battle Royale build mode. Yeah. But it's just wild that this game continues to be so prevalent. Like it when it seems like it's dipping, like when it seems like it's losing the steam, all they do is announce a new season with a new collab, or they introduce new modes or something, and it's right back up there. It's right back up into the public eye. And I don't know. It's just, I think it's so interesting. I'm going to give this thing a try. I'll probably publish some videos of it on our YouTube channel of me playing with my son. But first of all, I'm a huge Turtles fan. And a Fortnite fan, so the fact that this is going in is so interesting. But I just find the whole sub game within a game just endlessly fascinating. All right, let's talk about the games that we've been playing, Antonio. This is a big one. This is big daddy. Let's talk about Call of Duty Black Ops.
So
6 of these fuckers already?
So Call of Duty, quite a while ago, had split development between Treyarch, Raven, and Activision. So I think those are the three, but they're basically multiple studios work on different tiers of the game. They have like Black Ops, Modern Warfare. Every studio that does the game has their own like little take, but it's all Call of Duty, right? You got this militaristic shooter. The good thing about this one is that they've gone back to the model of having a full campaign, multiplayer mode, and then zombies. And of course, with the multiplayer, they have Warzone, which is like the battle royale modes, etc. So the interesting thing that I want to say about Call of Duty, about Activision, is I got banned. So I have a lifetime ban on me right now where I have lost all progress, any unlocks, anything that I've done on my account, and I'm unable to play for the rest of my life. What happened was
This is going to be a real short review then, I guess.
Yeah, I was on my Xbox one day and I'm like, oh, I want to try the upcoming Call of Duty Black Ops 6 because it would be the first time a Call of Duty, after Microsoft acquiring Activision Blizzard, that it was going to be on Game Pass. So I was like, great. So I just happened to look at my phone and it's like, oh, we've detected, something on your account. Please, report this if it's not you. I'm like, definitely not me. I haven't played Call of Duty in like months, I haven't been in there. So I reported it right away and I said, hey, flag this or whatever. I immediately get banned. And then I'm like, okay, this is odd. So I appeal the ban and I say, look, I just emailed, like I got the notice there's suspicious activity and it said flag it if it's not you. And I did, and it's not. And they're like, sorry, not good enough. Like you're responsible. You didn't have like the 2-factor, authentication on it. So
on a fucking game.
The Activision, like the account is literally lifetime banned. So once you appeal once, you're done. And this is sweeping. And I've done my research online trying to figure out, is this legit? Like, do they do this? And the answer is yes. Like they just lifetime ban all sorts of people. And there are a lot of cheaters out there. Like if you go to, any streaming or anything like that, there are like aim bots and seeing through walls and like different things. And people cheat in this game all the time. And it's, unfortunate that it kind of ruins it for everyone. But my account somehow is compromised. And then somebody was cheating on my account, I guess. I don't even know.
Don't
so
they know who you are? Don't they know that you're a Megadad?
I tried to tell him, I'm like, do you understand the repercussions? Like, do you want to mess with the organization that is Megadad's Live? Like, and they didn't care. So
we're starting a petition. We are starting a petition. We're getting you back online. So how did you play this game?
I signed in as my brother, and then I started playing on his account. He doesn't play it. I think I actually had to like activate the Activision account because he doesn't play Call of Duty at all. But he had like his Xbox thing, because that's the thing. You can't unlink your Xbox account from the Activision account. It's like, nope, you can't unlink
they
it.
Own
they're like, they can see that you've linked it in the past, so they're like, you're banned. You are banned. The Xbox. So I can't even unlink my Xbox to create another Activision account and start from scratch. They're like, no, the Xbox ID that's attached to this is also banned as well. So I've been signing in. I played as my brother because honestly, the thing about Call of Duty is it's, in the zeitgeist, it gets very popular and it's just something to do. And the best thing that I have to say about this game is it's mindless shooting fun. And the pace of Call of Duty is you spawn in, run, shoot 2 people, then you get shot in the back. And that is the game. It's always been the game. The spawn system has something to do with it. The speed of the game has something to do with it. The time to kill and like how much health you have. But this is the game, and it's like, it speaks to the primordial brain and is just like, do you want to like rack up some kills and unlock the next gun attachment, the next perk? Like, you can go inside a map that's very small, that's over a there's an overabundance of enemies, and everybody's just like around every corner. There's just someone, so you just run, kill, run, kill, run, kill someone, run, and it's just like that's the thing. And I sit there and I play it for my 30 minutes a day, and I get my fix, and then I'm off of it. This game, compared to other games, did not strike my fancy in the fact of every Call of Duty kind of feels a little different with the running, how fast you are, how the guns feel, etc. And this one is a little slower. The movement, you can now at any moment jump in any direction. So like if I'm running straight, you can jump backwards and to the left, and like your whole body will like fling itself. So every once in a while with this new movement system, you'll be fighting someone and you'll just see the craziest jump of someone just flinging their body across, and sometimes they'll get you and sometimes they're just kind of messing around and they don't. I'm sure really good players like are using it to their advantage, but this, like, they call it like the dolphin dive is like now advanced, where you're just like dolphin diving like Free Willy style over a rail or something, and you're shooting on the way down. And they even have perks where it's like, do you want to aim better when you're flinging your body? Unlock these. And so it's kind of encouraging it. So it's weird. The maps are a big thing with Call of Duty. I don't like them overall. They're very small. A lot of them are kind of forgetful. Like nothing really jumps out at me like some previous other games where I've really enjoyed the maps. The guns are just, it seems like there's not a whole lot there, and I think that's because they have like the seasonal model now where they offer different guns and stuff for every like big season that comes out. So I don't see a lot of depth there. I'll use like SMG, shotgun and stuff like that and have fun, but it's a fun game. It doesn't change a whole lot game to game every year.
Right.
And this game is just like all the others. I would say overall, it's like of the last like 5 that released, it's probably like top 3 at most. So it's middling, I would say. It is what I've been playing though, and I have to give it its due because it's keeping my attention and keeping me coming back. So I haven't played the campaign. The campaign is supposedly really good. There's a good story, big set pieces and big explosions and all that. And I haven't gotten to that yet. Multiplayer has kind of taken me over the zombies mode, where you co-op or alone fight zombies in different levels and unlock doors and keep expanding the level the longer you go. That's fun. You know, it's mindless shooting zombies.
Right.
It's
snacks.
It's zombies. Yeah. So it's hard to like really get deep into it. Like I really can't speak. Like the sound design is, I don't know, forgetful. Visuals kind of muddy, I would say. Nothing like, you know, spectacular. People have said that it looks kind of downgraded. It's meh. It's blah. Like it's selling like hotcakes. I don't know if the Game Pass experiment has worked out. I don't think that they have worked out. Are they profitable in this way? Is this a good thing it was on Game Pass? I haven't looked at that data yet. But another Call of Duty is here, Adam. Call of Duty Black Ops 6. You can play it if you want. Do I recommend it? I don't know. Kind of. It's
Call of Duty.
Very,
it's something to do.
Something to do. Yes. Put that on the box. It's something to do. Yeah.
Well, real quick, I want to talk about a game that I got a code for quite a while ago, and I haven't had a chance to really discuss it. There's not a lot to talk about here because it's like Call of Duty. It is what it is. I'm going to talk about Karate Kid. Now, this is an old school side-scrolling beat-em-up game with pixel sprite graphics. Think Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Shredder's Revenge, right? It takes place across the 3 different Karate Kid movies. So it's like you're playing, it's like an old SNES kind of video game adaptation, right? You're playing the movies. In the sense that the stages are places that were in the movies, and there's little cutscenes in between. But for the most part, what I find so interesting about this game, first of all, 4-player co-op. That's our language. That's our love language in my house. If you give us a 4-player co-op game, we're gonna have some fun with it, regardless of the quality, right? Karate Kid Street Ball is very
it's called Street Rumble.
Street
Karate
Rumble.
Kid Street Rumble. Sorry about that.
Street Rumble. I'll have to
fact check.
Fix that. Thank you. Street Rumble. It's very adequate. It does exactly what you expect it to do. You run around. You do special moves. There's grapple moves. If your buddy gets KO'd, you can run up to him and do the little Karate Kid thing where you like smack your hands together like Mr. Miyagi, and that's how you pick them up. So it's charming. It's fun, right? Like the playable characters are characters from the movie. So far, we've been playing through the first film. So the main bad guy is Johnny, the guy who's the Cobra Kai guy now. And you're running around and he's like the boss of every level. Sometimes he's on his street bike. Sometimes he's in his Halloween outfit, the skulls from the old original Karate Kid. So it's charming, right? It's very much what Karate Kid is. What I find so entertaining and hilarious about this, though, is when we play it, we're playing as my son is Daniel-san. I'm Mr. Miyagi. My wife plays as this is gonna sound really terrible, but I don't remember what the names of the other characters were. It's like the girlfriend love interest from the first movie, and then my daughter plays as the love interest from the second movie. Those are your 4 playable characters. The game does like a cutscene where it introduces what's happening. It's a scene from the movie. And then what it does is it unleashes you into the world, and you are kicking the living shit out of everybody. Just waves of teenagers. You beat the shit out of probably 250 teenagers per level. So here you are. I mean, it's just insane.
It's problematic, Adam.
Here's Daniel-san with his 2 chicks and fucking 60-year-old Mr. Miyagi just beating the snot out of everybody they come across because it's a brawler. That's what you do. And because this game is based on a movie, which is kind of like it's a drama, right? Like it's like a little kid drama. There's not a lot of bad guys in the movie, so what do? They just throw teenagers at you. This isn't like Ninja Turtles where it's it makes sense that it's the ninjas and the robots and the aliens and stuff. No, they got nothing but teenagers.
Yeah.
So this whole game is about playing through a level based on a scene from the film, and you are kicking the snot out of everybody. And it's extra fun for me because I'm playing as an old man. And a lot of times I want to kick the shit out of teenagers in real life. Because that's just like what people our age want to do. We see some kid that's like, he's got a stupid haircut or he's listening to shitty music. And it's like, man, I wish I could slap that kid. I wish I could just walk up and slap that kid. This game lets you do that. This game lets you play as a curmudgeon-y old man who just walks through a high school in Southern California kicking the shit out of some douchey kids. So, gameplay-wise, it's adequate. Graphics, they're fine. Sound design, it's forgettable. But I get to be a middle-aged Asian man kicking the shit out of some SoCal kids. And I kind of love it for that.
These brawlers are fun. And I played the, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one. We rolled credits on that. There was like the Scott Pilgrim thing. There's a lot of these. And a lot of them have that like pixel art, like cartoony style. And they're good. You turn your brain off. You just kind of go in and fight. What's interesting about this one the most to me, besides like the endless waves of the same teenager enemies, is like the backgrounds. Because I'm looking at, trailers and screenshots. There's only so many scenes in these movies, Adam. Like, like when you have them fighting in the skull costumes outside the school or whatever, and there's only if you think of how many scenes there are in the movie, how many locales. I see school, outside of school, street, and like inside the tournament area. What is scrolling in the back throughout all these levels?
Just a big fucking school, man. It's just a really big school.
A huge school. Like it's crazy.
It's so like I said, this game I believe is the entire Karate Kid trilogy.
Oh my God.
We have not gotten to Karate Kid 2 takes place in China. I've never even seen Karate Kid 3, so that's gonna be kind of interesting once I get to that point.
I don't remember.
Yeah, exactly. I will say this game is not Streets of Rage 4. This game is not Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It is not as good as those. But it's something to do. It's
something to do day.
It's 4-player co-op, so that to me elevates any game. If you've got an adequate game but the 4 of you are having a good time laughing at it together. Like we totally joke about the fact that all we're doing is, breaking the law. You're going around and you're like knocking over garbage cans because there's health in it and shit. You're just a menace in this game. It really does not have the value system that the Karate Kid films does. You're just vandalizing the school and beating the shit out of people that walk in front of you. But that's kind of fun. That's kind of fun, especially when you have a whole docket of 4 players just, having some snacks and playing. We don't do an excessive amount of gaming with this one. We'll turn it on and do a level, before bedtime. You get a good 10-minute chunk out of it or whatever. It's good. It's fine. And you can find a lot of fun in it depending on who you're playing with and what you're bringing to the game as far as your expectations and what makes you laugh, right?
Yeah.
So, Karate Kid, Street Brawl, it's a value title. If you got a family that loves playing 4-player co-op stuff, there are certainly worse things you can play than Karate Kid. It's a good time. It's good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, that sound right there is the Caboose, where we bring you a recommendation of something outside the world of video games that we think you might enjoy. And Antonio, are you aware that the new Linkin Park album dropped?
My buddy, David Jones, is such a big Linkin Park fan. He's been scouring the internet, looking at all the rumors on top of everything that's happening. So I was alerted that the album dropped. I listened to the 3rd or 4th single the other day, which was super hard. Mm-hmm. And it is out, and Linkin Park is here for us.
It is. They are here for us. This album came out on November 15th. It's good. It's solid. The singles are really good. The 4 tracks that they released before the album came out are really, really good. The rest of them is kind of like an interesting mixed bag. There's a couple of real scream anthems, which depending on how you feel about that, might turn you off. Really hardcore and edgy stuff. There's a couple tracks that are really interesting, kind of like groove vibes, which is a little different than what I was expecting for Linkin Park. But all in all, I'd give it like a B or like a B plus. It's a solid 35-minute album. You get in, you jam, you get out. I'm very excited that this band is back. I think this is a really good effort from them. I guess a freshman effort with their new coordination of band. I'm happy, man. I love listening to this kind of shit. It brings me back to another time where I had Linkin Park and Limp Bizkit and Stain and shit were on my rotation. It brings back that vibe. But it's some really good tunes. So if you like that kind of hardcore edge, I recommend From Zero is the album.
Awesome. So piggybacking a little bit off of your Caboose is I've been listening to a lot of 90s music because everything was okay in the 90s. Nothing was wrong. And it's so healing to go and listen to lyrics of the 90s because it was just such nonsense and not about anything at all. It's just like a vibe. Yeah. We were cleaning a room the other day and we had like the radio on and it was playing the song Yeah. So it's like yeah. And then I was thinking, I like told my wife, I was like, all right, imagine the pitch for this song, right? It's like, okay, what do you got? And the guy's like, all right, hear me out. And then he like shows him the paper with the lyrics on it. And it's just for like pretty much like 75% of the paper is yeah. And they got away with
probably
it.
handwritten, right? Because
they got away with it. Like this somebody got paid to write this song with being like their segment of the song, and then you have like Ludacris actually doing some work on it. But it's just interesting. 90s music. That's not my Caboose. My Caboose recommendation is to get yourself a sun lamp. So in the dreary months, you can get this little lamp that will, if you like go on online, you can search them, but they will simulate like sunlight for you and brighten up your room. And they have like little adjustable settings where you can get the color temperature just right. I have one and it's kind of pointed actually away from me, bouncing off the wall and giving me some like brightness in my day. So I would highly recommend that if you are experiencing winter in the fall winter months right now, that you would get a sun lamp, our artificial sun. I don't know what the actual science is behind this thing, but I would definitely suggest that you get one. If you have like, seasonal depression, you have anything like that, it's very interesting. They're not very expensive, and it's uplifting somewhat instead of just being all gray all the time.
You're kind of like the new wave Mega Dad, aren't you? I saw you in the Discord the other day. We're talking about aromatherapy.
Yeah, everybody's in
just got, like,
aromatherapy in the Discord right now.
Yeah, you've got like the
Light a
smells and the
candle.
lights and
You
the
have
vibes
to.
and the music.
Self-care. Yeah, you got to do
Do you
it.
have a skincare regimen?
But you know what? No, I don't. I people like moisturize. I should do that. I got to keep my face looking young for the people, for my fans.
All right, well, that's going to do it for this episode of Mega Dad's Live. Everybody has an assignment. Here's the deal. Everybody's got to help Antonio get back into Call of Duty. We're going to rage against the machine.
Yeah, sure.
We're going to battle the man. We're going to get this guy back into Call of Duty. I'm going to start a campaign. It's hashtag Antonio in COD.
Okay.
All right?
Sounds good.
In the meantime, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Join us in that Mega Dad's Discord. The link is in the show notes. And we will see you right back here next week for an all-new episode of Mega Dad's Live.